This week, we break down the season premiere of Doctor Who. Also, we get to see some My Hero Academia, who's this Lemillion character, and I got to check out The Witcher. What did I think? Find out now. Your host, Darth Easy. Alright, hello Easy Nation, and welcome to the season or series premiere of Darth Easy's TV recap. This is a show I've been wanting to do for a very long time. And, it's a show I used to do on my YouTube channel. It's a video format show. And it got a lot of work. There were so many TV shows I watched. And I always said, I'm going to do a podcast one day about it. Well, I tried to use a microphone and it just didn't work out. A headset. And I got this sweet microphone that I got for Christmas. And I was like, you know what, let's create a couple podcasts. I have an idea of a third podcast to do, but until work gets a little better right now and I got some more free time, I won't be able to do that podcast. But until then, I'm going to do these two podcasts. This is a Darth Easy Sports Talk, which you can check out right now. I've just submitted the show to iTunes, so hopefully that will show up eventually, and Spotify. So let's hope that comes out soon. But this is Darth Easy TV recap. So what's this show going to be all about? Basically, from Sunday to Saturday, I will be watching the shows that I watch. I will list the shows I watch. I will talk about the shows that I like. And I'll do a little TV. It's just a TV recap from Sunday to Saturday. And some weeks I may not have a lot of shows to talk about. Like in the summer, I probably won't have any shows to talk about other than shows that I've been binge watching. So I'm looking forward to doing this show. I've been looking forward to it all week that I got to do it. And I have a bunch of shows to talk about, and yeah, let's get started right now. The first show I'm talking about is one of my favorite shows, Doctor Who. This is Season 12, Episode 1, Skyfall, Part 1. So, this was a very, very cool episode. So, first off, Doctor Who. Last season of Doctor Who, I wasn't the biggest fan of, but I did really enjoy parts of the season. My biggest problem of last season of Doctor Who was just that there was no overarching story, and I'm a story guy. I love story in my shows, and there wasn't any story that last season. This season, I'm hoping we get some more story. I'm hoping there's some overarching story, so hopefully they learned their lesson. And so this episode, there's a lot of nods to James Bond. Basically, MI6 recruits the Doctor to go after this alien species, which has basically invaded Earth. And it was very intriguing, and there were some really cool James Bond nods to this episode. Whenever she goes, Doctor, the Doctor. And then also you see some other names like the big reveal episode was the holy crap, they're doing that? Awesome. And was when you find out the Master. That's right, the Master is back. And I was just like, oh, that's so cool. That's amazing. And then the guy who plays the Master, which I didn't know at the time, if you ever watch Iron Fist, not a great show. It had moments, it had potential. But the guy who plays Davos, he gets to play the new Master. And that was such an incredible moment, and whatever his name is, and the Master chose it just to see the look of the face of the Doctor. It's such a Master move that I absolutely loved. And I thought the companions were fine. I'm not the biggest fan of the three companions. I like the older guy. The girl's okay at times, but the guy, the younger black guy, can basically do away with. So this was a great episode. I'm looking forward to part 2 coming out today, which is, this show will be uploaded every Sunday at 10 o'clock Central Standard Time. So yeah, I am really, really glad this episode was great, and I'm looking forward to the part 2 of the episode. So let's move on to my second show, and that is High School Musical, the series, Season 1, Episode 9, Opening Night. This episode was a lot of fun. High School Musical movies are a guilty pleasure. They're absolutely a guilty pleasure. I very much enjoy those movies for what they are. They're not great movies, but I do enjoy them. And I will say this episode, the episode is they're getting ready for the musical, the show. It's opening night. And I like the episode because you have all these characters. They're trying to figure out, well, how do we do this? trying to recast characters and make sure it's funny, make sure we get all the sound effects right. And I like how I like the direction of this episode, because we see the first shot of the episode we actually see. It's the last shot we see of the episode. And it's, you see the Slimmy guy who is trying to get Troy Bolton, eventually gets Troy Bolton, and we see how he got that part, and we see that the main guy, Ricky, he is having a kind of a meltdown, and he sees his mom kissing her mom's new boyfriend, so that kind of creeps him out. So yeah, he doesn't really feel up to doing any more music school, so I'm curious to see what happens the last episode. Next week is the season finale, so I'll be looking forward to watching that next week. So alright, so let's move on to My Hero Academia Season 4, Episode 11, Lemillion. Wow, what an awesome episode this was. My Hero Academia is slowly becoming one of my favorite animes, and this is a very American anime, I feel like, because we have seasons, it does stories, and each season is so good. And this episode, the episode's titled Lemillion. Lemillion, he catches up to Overhaul, and he fights them. And his powers, it's basically he's Rogue. If Rogue, every time she fades into something, she could basically die. And he is awesome. When he fights Overhaul and the two sidekick characters that are trying to hold him off, and he beats them in like a minute, you just realize how powerful Lemillion really is, and you understand what Mr. Aizawa said, that he could be the next number one hero, and that could take All Might's position. You see that in that moment. It kind of ends sad because he gets shot with a bullet, and the bullet is supposed to completely break down his power. So we'll see what actually happens with that. I mean, I know you can read the comics, but I do not want to read comics for these shows, because I don't want to do a Naruto situation where I watch it and I'm ruined and I'm waiting forever to see these moments on TV. I'm just enjoying great TV from My Hero Academia. This is such an awesome anime. I'm looking forward to next week. It's one of my most anticipated shows I watch. All right, let's talk about One Punch Man, Season 2, Episode 11, The Varieties of Pride. This show has been out for a while. It's been on, it came out on Toonami tonight, so I was very interested watching it. We have Garrett, whatever his character's name is. He's a hero hunter. Basically, all these heroes have him surrounded, so the heroes are trying to beat him. He basically beats all these heroes, and he's like so wounded. He's like, I gotta take a nap or something. And then Geno shows up and starts beating his ass, and you're seeing these moments where the guy you know he's messed up, but you kind of root for the guy, because he was always the guy. He's always the oddball. He was like, I'm gonna root for the bad guys. I mean, who doesn't do that from times? I mean, I root for the Empire when Return of the Jedi to kill those Ewoks. I mean, who didn't boo when you saw Ewoks in Rise of Skywalker? So this was a fun episode. I'm looking forward to seeing the next episode, because the master character who taught the hero killer the karate thing shows up. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. All right, guys, that's all the episodes that come out throughout the week. But to end each episode, I will talk about shows that I'm streaming as well. And I always save those for last, because those are technically not being released during the week. Those are shows that I'm just, binge watching or whatever. So the first show I'm going to talk about is Atlantis. This is my final. I will have a review of Atlanta eventually. It'll come out soon. Yeah, sure. Yeah. So I finished season 2 on Friday on one of my days off, and I had 3 episodes left, episode 9, 10 through 11. So the episodes that I saw was, we have one episode where Donald Glover's character basically gets Paperboy and all his boys to go to this event where they can get $60,000. They say at a crazy college chick's place, and she kind of goes crazy bitch as he thought he was, and then Paperboy's talking about firing Donald Glover's character. The next episode was probably one of my favorite episodes, because it did really have a great episode about bullying and what bullying can really lead to. And I thought the episode was very cool. But really, what I really like about the episode, it had this social justice kind of message that some people would probably find really terrible. But what I really liked about it was it really gave us the relationship between Paperboy and Donald Glover's character, and I thought it just was great. And then the finale of the season 2 was we see the guys, they're getting ready to go on tour to Europe, and Donald Glover's character, he's worrying about a lot of things. He's like, he doesn't have enough money to help his girlfriend, wife, whatever she is, and get his kid through this private school, which would be really good because his kid is very smart. He's worried about having a job, finding a right lawyer, and I love that at the end where they set another manager up. Was very, very good. I really liked this season. This was a show that I wasn't too sure about, but I'm such a big fan of Donald Glover that I was willing to give this show a shot. So yeah, I really enjoyed this episode of Atlanta. And now, before I end the show, let's talk about the show. People have been telling me, it's like, Darth Easy, why aren't you watching the show yet? Well, guys, I've just been busy with holidays and other stuff. And the show I'm talking about is The Witcher. I mean, I played the video games. So, I played The Witcher 3 for about an hour, and I was really confused by it. And just like in the video game, I was very confused in the first episode of the TV show. And I think a lot of the problem of the episode I had a problem with was some of the story things was just that it jumps around a lot from timelines. They don't happen in the right order. And that's something I heard going into it. So I'm glad I know that going into the show and that I wasn't surprised by that. Because, to be honest with you, story-wise, I'm not crazy about it so far. But I will say, the action is incredible. Like, it is some really awesome action that we see in the show. I like Henry Cavill's performance as Geralt, and it's very different from anything I've ever seen from Henry Cavill and anything he's done in his career. I love Henry Cavill. I wish he would get another shot to play Superman. I don't know if he's going to get that chance. I do not, but I do enjoy his character as Geralt. I thought his monotone Witcher character is amazing. I love what they're doing with his character. And also, I like the little princess storyline where she may have some powers, but she needs to maybe get some training from Geralt. I'm very curious what to watch. I'm going to watch more of it this week as the days go along, and I'll talk more about it on my next episode of Darth Easy TV Recap. So, guys, that ends this first episode of Darth Easy TV Recap. I hope everyone enjoyed the show. Guys, if you like this video, and this is going to be uploaded on YouTube, I'm going to eventually try to have it on some of the podcasts and like iTunes and Spotify. Check the show out. I mean, every like, every view helps the show grow. And if you like the show, share it to your friends. Tell them, hey, you want a good TV show podcast to listen to? Hey, check out Darth Easy TV Recap. He appreciates your views, and I very much appreciate it. So, and also make sure you subscribe to it on whatever platform you're using on. And also subscribe to my YouTube channel at Darth Easy. I do movie reviews. I do TV reviews. I also have another podcast, Darth Easy Sports Talk, where every Tuesday morning I will talk about the latest in the week of sports. And also check out the Easy Cage podcast, also on my YouTube channel, where I team up with another YouTuber, Randy Cage, as we talk about random top 10s. We talk about some movie news, and then we also break down months of movies. So guys, until next week, all too easy.